Hello, Scorpio. Hello to any Scorpios out there that decided to join me. This is going to be your September monthly overview reading. This reading is a general reading that is timeless. So whenever you find it, there might be some little tidbit of some information that you might need at the time you watch this video if you're not watching it now or in the month of September, because the messages are literally timeless. You find them when you're meant to find them. Like I said, they don't always have to reflect the current energy. That's just the intention I put on it, but we're all in different places on different timelines and experience things at different rates. So with all that being said, also, by the way, I'm Sherry and this is Soul Conscious Tarot. The way I do these readings is we pull 3 rows. The first row is going to be how you're feeling and thinking at a conscious level. The second row is going to be what you're feeling and thinking at a subconscious level that you may or may not be aware of. And then that final row is essentially the outcome. It's how those two tie together to show us what is manifesting into your real reality. Because when, our thoughts and feelings and what we think at a conscious and subconscious level, and sometimes those contradict, and that plays out in a different way in our world around us than maybe what we expect them to, So it kind of brings that to light to understand, how we might be able to course correct if we're especially if what we're feeling and thinking and doing in the real world is different than what we're, what we are thinking and feeling at a subconscious or maybe a 5D level at a different level. So sometimes when those contradict, we get different circumstances than what we expect in our reality. So let's see what we have for you this month, Scorpio. I have these cards upside down. No wonder I have the whole deck upside down. So travel, leaving, moving, maybe, we'll see. Definitely changing environments. Definitely a changing environments. I also see those 2 columns. I see that as the 2 wands. I think there's a decision that you need to make, Scorpio. I think that you're in the middle of at a crossroads, in the middle of making a decision whether to move on from something or stay or go is what I'm really picking. Stay or go. I have to make that decision whether you're staying or going. And then the moon card. So that's an interesting moon card. I don't know if I've seen the moon card from this deck, or maybe I haven't paid close attention, but that's the first time I noticed there's a face, the man and the moon there. I was drawn right to that. So this really looks, this is somebody looking down. If you think about the moon card is about secrets. It's about what's hidden. It's about, things that maybe we don't want to look at, or things that are in our darker shadow selves. Can talk about our traumas, our triggers, or just aspects of ourselves we may not show to the world, or we may hide not only from ourselves but the people around us. But it also it can talk about intuition. It can talk about especially the way this moon is on this card, that it's almost illuminating, and he looks like he's looking down from above. He's looking down on something, maybe trying to illuminate something that gain insight on something is what I'm really feeling. So we have I think this is is this the Wands card? I think that's Wands, especially since it's red. I want to say that I couldn't tell if that's Wands or Swords, but I'm pretty sure it's Wands, the 10 of Wands. So, that's talking about something that it's always a card of a burden. It's something that's troubling you, that's plaguing you, and this is that card of going on a journey. It's like looking out on new horizons. It's looking out, setting an intention to maybe, go on a new journey, on a new quest, on new horizons, and turning your back, so to speak, on the past of this other, the old wands. These are the other wands, or things from your past. He's got that one wand that is the new path. It's the new, like if you think of it like a walking stick, taking a journey, getting ready to embark on a new journey. And I think, as I said, I think you're at a crossroads, because I think it's like, I think you're trying to decide whether to stay or go, but you definitely are looking out at your options and looking out like on the horizon of thinking, and maybe almost wishfully thinking, or starting to put things in motion to consider moving on, to either leave a situation or leave a place, So let's see what else we have, Scorpio. So Dancing Prayer, that's a pretty interesting card. 38, Dancing Prayer. So this, I'm really, I get this, again, I keep getting like almost an illumination, awakening. I'm really drawn to the swirls on the top of her head, like insight coming through, just like this guy being drawn to the man in the moon there, and how he's looking down, like looking at something, evaluating something, trying to see something for what it is. And I almost get this as a card, also a card of kind of insight, intuition, of getting, kind of getting some kind of insight or awareness in some way is what I really pick up. Excuse me. Let's see what we have in your subconscious self, what you're feeling and thinking in your subconscious self about this matter, about this decision you need to make to leave or to go. Should I stay? Should I go? Is what I'm really picking up on. Should I stay or should I go now? If I stay, there will be trouble. If I go, there will be trouble. Sorry, so it's coming through. Okay, so you have the 9 of Swords here, which, that talks about anxiety. So definitely feeling some anxiety over this. Like I said, should I stay or should I go? If I stay, there's going to be trouble. If I go, there's going to be double. And so it's like, what do I do? Should I stay? Should I go? 7 of Cups, that's definitely those choices, the confusion, the choices, and the 5 of Pentacles. So it's like, that's a little bit, you got a lot of fear and anxiety, about the decision that you need to make. And I think that's what you're trying to get some insight on. This is what I really, really feel, Scorpio, is for your month of September. There's something, like, I think that there's something in your life, and I don't know, you're going to have to put it to your own life, but there's something that you have a choice between staying in a situation or leaving a situation, moving on from something or staying in it. There's a real strong, and I think that you're trying to figure it out, and I think that you have a lot of anxiety about this decision. I think it's this decision is really, really hard for you. Really very hard for you. It's like you really don't want to make the decision, almost, but you need to. It's like, because if you look at this card, like, she's so focused on her, like, feeling bad and feeling sorry for her, she doesn't even notice, like, that even though it's dark and gloomy here, look, the illumination is right there. She just has to get up and walk out of the canyon. She just has to get up and walk out. She just has to look around her and realize she doesn't have to stay where she's at. She has the ability to get up and walk out of there, but instead she's wanting to stay feeling sorry for herself and feel like she's stuck when she's not really stuck. And so I think that's really what, it's your subconscious is trying to say. You're not really stuck. You may feel like you're stuck, but you're not really. You can make this decision if you really want to, And I think there's a part of you that is trying to, because you're trying to gain some insight and illuminate something that's hidden, something that maybe you're not seeing, that that you just don't know. I think there's something that, it's like there's this missing piece of information that is making it hard to make the decision, because there's something maybe you don't see, and so that's making it really hard to make a decision right yet. So ride the wave. So that's really telling me that, the way this is manifest is go with the flow. Like, this is your outcome, like how these come together and to manifest into your outcome. And so it's really just letting things, and I think that's what you're doing here, is you're trying to, you're kind of walking into the space of being just accepting, of going with the flow, and just it's almost like when we, because not making a decision is a decision. If we don't make a decision, that's also a decision, because by not making a decision, we're letting things just play out however they play out, and we just accept whatever happens, and so that's definitely a choice, and but that may not be what you want, so it's kind of like I see that you're almost like in that, and this is a good energy to be in, where you just let things. Now there are things you have to make a decision around, but this is telling me, especially with this being in the outcome, that's probably the energy that you're in, that's what's manifesting, that by not making a decision, you're just letting the universe take the wheel and let whatever happens, however the cards fall, you're just letting them fall and seeing what happens, but if it's something about, if you need to leave, by not taking action, you may be, defaulting to staying in the situation because you're not taking action to contradict that, to change something, to move somewhere else. So you may end up, by making that choice to not make a decision, you ultimately are making the decision to stay. And so we have the Eight of Cups, which is walking away. Like I said, I feel like this is really a, should I stay or should I go? And this is really, this is what I talked about with this card here. She's so focused on the decision, on I'm feeling sorry for herself and making this decision. She's not making a decision when or thinking she doesn't have the ability to make the decision, when all she has to do is stand up and look. She can walk right out of that canyon. There's the sun on the other side of that dark canyon. And here in this cup here, in the Eight of Cups, this is a darker room, and walking away from those spilt cups, the darker room, toward happiness, toward the sun, toward the light. But that also requires, taking action. But, you're not willing to. You're standing your ground and just not making a decision. Maybe, maybe feeling sorry for yourself. Maybe feeling like you can't make a decision at this time. And like I said, not making a choice is a choice, And that's what it's kind of saying, that this, this making this choice is a burden. This choice to walk away is a bit of a burden. And I think, with the sun coming out here, I think this is just saying you need to follow what makes you happy. The choice needs to be, what makes you happy? What is going to bring you happiness? What do you feel is going to bring you your happiness? That instead of being defensive or feeling sorry for yourself or feeling like you can't make this choice or feeling like you have no options, when you really do, you do have options, and you have options. You see that there's a choice that needs to be made, that you do have options available to you. You're feeling like you can't make that decision when you can. And the universe is saying, the choice is easy. Go after what makes you happy. What makes you happy? Go after that. If it requires walking away, walk away. Walk away from it if you need to. Walk away from where you're at if it makes you happy. Stay if it makes you happy. What makes you happy? But you need to make that choice. Right now you're not. And the universe is deciding for you because you haven't decided. So you may not get what you want. You may not get your happiness by not deciding, not deciding and showing the universe what your happiness is, Scorpio. And it's only through showing the universe by your actions what you want that they can give you more of that in your life, because you're showing them by your actions, what by your thoughts and your actions, show the universe what to give you more of, so you have to be really careful with that. So, let's go ahead and get 3 final cards from the universe and see what they have for you, please. 3 final cards for Scorpio. The Empress. So that's really, the Empress is like the creatrix. they, they're somebody that can, they're very creative. They're very abundant. They're somebody that can manifest abundance in their life. They're also somebody that knows what they want and they go after it, and then we have the Nine of Swords coming out. I think we had the Nine of Swords. Did we have the Nine of Swords? I think that was, yeah, I thought so. The Nine of Swords there. In your soul, which is coming up again. So this anxiety you have about making this decision, that it stresses you out to have to make this choice and make this decision. It's saying you need to kind of boss up. You need to, you need to know what you want. Yeah, you have all these options, and these options confuse you, and they stress you out when you have to make a choice. And maybe you're somebody that has a really hard time with making decisions. Maybe you're a very indecisive person. I mean, that's not going to be for everyone out there. So, I mean, don't necessarily take it personally, but if it resonates, it resonates. If you're a person that has a hard time making decisions, which I really feel this is, to somebody that's, and maybe you're not all the time have a hard time making a decision, but definitely in this matter, whatever this is, you're having a hard time making a decision and choosing between things, because you're afraid of what's going to happen if you choose, and pick a path that leads to your happiness, leads to your sun. Because like I said, on both of those cards, all that person needs to do is get up and walk out of there toward their happiness. This person's walking toward their happiness. It's just go after what makes you happy. Step in that Empress energy and go after what makes you happy. Decide what you want, what makes you happy, and go after it. That's what I really feel is your overall message, Scorpio, is go after what makes you happy. That's what's important. That's what's going to be important in the month of September, with this choice that you may be having a hard time with. It's just really, what makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy, do that. Do what makes you happy. It's really that simple. So I've been pulling these as a final card, one oracle card from the Secret Language of Light oracle deck, because they play in very nicely with the readings, or they have been. I do read these messages out of the book because I don't do them justice, but I really feel like this, yin and yang, that's balance. That's balance of masculine and feminine energy, or coming into balance. But it also can be, like two things, two polar opposites. That, I'm seeing a lot of things that are coming through on this card. I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune. I'm seeing, how it can turn, and, the 180 degrees where it can go one way or go that way. It's those choices. It's, are you going to go this direction or go that direction? Are you, it's that spinning of the wheel, it's the round and round and round. And are you going to go this way or go that way? And so we have, this is 7, nothing has gone wrong. So this will be interesting to read. I don't think that I've read this one before. So this will be very interesting to hear and see how this plays out in this message. So 7, nothing has gone wrong. An obstacle launches new loving requests. So we're already talking about, the obstacle, I believe, is the choice that you're faced with, and you're not wanting to make that choice, or being indecisive. In the last few days, a change came out of the blue. Should I stay or should I go? A change came out of the blue. It may have felt like your body and mind moved through a crack in reality as your life altered course so suddenly. Deep within, you have been craving change, and this situation brings new and different energies to your life. You may be feeling a little lightheaded and dizzy by the brilliance of this expanded version of you, but you are doing so well. It is now time to catch your breath and settle into your new outlook. This is an opportunity to look at your thoughts, ideas, and your reactions to your potential success. As you become aware and implement change, you can rise above the limits people or situations have placed on you. This card depicts the trigram of the I Ching, the Book of Changes, with a yin-yang symbol. This is a reminder that everything changes, that nothing can exist on your physical plane without its opposite, and neither is superior to the other. So you can, either choice is a choice. Go after your happiness, because, this is saying that, there is no right or wrong decision. There's only the decision. There's no right or wrong. It's just, you no matter what, we'll go down a path. There's no path, no decision that you ever make that's right or wrong. There is no right or wrong, because every path leads to learning something new. You're going to gain knowledge and gain something out of every situation that you experience. It's going to be different things. So, that's why sometimes knowing what you want to experience in this lifetime, knowing what you really want, you can make those decisions and make the choices and decisions that are going to align better with you and get you further on, on your path of where you want to go based on what you desire. Which is why I said, follow your sun, do what makes you happy. Make the choice that makes you happy. You can't stop anything that has manifested, but it can serve as an inspiration to create new paths aligned with your soul truth. So, yeah, that's everything really. I think that wrapped it up very nicely, and put that in a perspective that I didn't kind of touch on, but is so true. And on that aspect of adding to this reading of there is no right or wrong decision. There really is in life. There is never a right or wrong decision. Everything has its reason and meaning, and by you making the choice that you make, and doing it in the way, even though, if you're a person that is sitting in the energy of not wanting to make a choice and just letting things unfold the way they're going to unfold and letting things happen the way they happen, that's still, like I said, in essence, a choice. And it's going to lead you down a certain path. By not doing something, you're choosing the path that you're going to walk. So if you're, so why not control where you're headed, in a sense, by doing things or moving toward the options that you have available to you, looking at those options, gaining insight, which you're doing. I said that before, that you're trying to gain insight, see something that you don't see, that's not been revealed to you. You're trying to gain some insight. And I think the insight that you need to gain is what makes you happy, and make a decision from that base of what makes you happy. What in your heart and soul makes you happy, Scorpio? And when you go from that place of what makes you happy, when you make decisions from the place of going after the things that make you happy, the universe is going to provide you with more of those things that make you happy, because it sees, okay, she says or he says that doing this thing or being this type of person is what makes this person happy. So let me give them more of those things that make them happy. The universe is just here to serve and provide for us. But we're the ones that dictate what we have in our world by the actions that we take, the choices and actions that we take. By taking those actions and making those choices, we're telling the universe what to give, what we want in our life. And it can be, like I said, as simple as if you don't make a choice and just sit in where you are, you're still telling the universe, this is what I want. This is what I want for myself, that because I'm staying where I'm at, and by staying there, I'm telling the universe, yeah, I'm happy being here, so give me more of this, and the universe will. So that's something you have to, if you're struggling with making choices, if you're struggling with being indecisive, know that nothing, no choice is right or wrong. Go after what really makes you happy, because if it, wherever that's leading, if you're excited about it and it makes you happy, you're going to get more of that. And sometimes it's hard to let go of old things in our life, or old places, people, things, jobs, whatever. Sometimes it's hard to move forward and leave certain situations. in the past, but sometimes they've served a purpose, and sometimes we've outgrown them and we have to move forward. And so this is really kind of saying, are you ready to move forward? The universe is kind of asking you, by this choice that you need to make, are you ready to move forward and experience something new? Or do you still want to stay where you're at? Do you want to still experience the same things that you're experiencing? It's kind of like a leveling up, like when you're moving up vibrational levels. The universe always tests us when we move up to a new vibrational level. The universe will test us, and that's what I almost feel like for you, Scorpio, is the universe is testing you and saying, okay, I'm ready. You're on this vibrational frequency. Are you willing to stay on this vibrational frequency that you're at? Or do you want to go back to where you were? Do you want to stay with what you know? Or are you willing to take the chance and opportunity? Let us bring in new things into your life to keep you on this new vibrational frequency and have a new path and a new life and things changing around you. Are you willing, to learn and expand and grow and have new things happen to you? Are you willing to let go of what has been and embark on that new journey? Are you willing to embark on a new journey? That's what the sum of your reading is. Are you willing to be like an explorer and set sail and go on a new journey and not know what's going to happen, and just take the chance and go after it and let the universe bring things into your life and that matches that new vibrational frequency you're on? Or are you going to let yourself go back down to the vibrational frequency that you were on because you're too afraid of change, or of that change, of doing something new, of making that decision to move into different waters than what you're used to? So that's what I have for you, Scorpio. If that message resonates with you, hit that like button down below. Feel free to share any comments with me and your fellow Scorpios. I'm sure they will appreciate it just as much as I do when you leave comments, so thank you so much. If you want to join my channel, you just have to hit that subscribe button down below. I'd love to have you as part of my tribe. I do this reading every month, plus a few other readings every week and that'll let you know when I'm publishing content. And I'd love to have you as part of my tribe. I thank you so very much if you took the time to watch this message, and I hope that you got something out of it. And I appreciate everyone that takes the time to support my channel in any way whatsoever. I wish you the very, very best this month and going forward. Joy, love, and light.